Welcome back to the most unprofessional YouTube channel that's on YouTube. I'm literally just walking in as usual. Have not eaten, didn't even eat lunch today. Hope everybody's doing well. Tomorrow's my wife's birthday, and she said all she hopes is that my crypto hits so she can go to Disney World. And I said, it's welcome to one more year being disappointed with me. As y'all can tell, I have nothing set up. Y'all bear with me for 1 second while my light decides to connect to Wi-Fi and all that. Hope, let's see. Volume down so you don't get echo. This is what I normally do behind the scenes when the countdown's going on, but I was getting dressed and I didn't think y'all wanted me to start this with no shirt on because I'll go down to like 60 subscribers. See you add. Make sure y'all hit the like button. All 2 people, 3 people. Grumpy fasting before things count. Fasting. I just can't afford food. It's the best diet they got. Best diet they got. Invest in crypto. You won't be able to afford food to eat while I'm about to munch down on chips. See if this light's connected. Oh, come on, man. I don't know why my light will not stay connected. How's that? Looks a little better. Oh, I gotta add. How about y'all? Munch away, man. Got the munchies. I got an envelope from Poda Power. I know some of y'all maybe into ham radio. Poda is a ham thing where you activate parts, and actually, if you ever watch Poda Power on live on YouTube, I would suggest it. Got some good sites. But Poda Crew, look at that. And it's my size too. And it's my size. So anyway. My son's texting me for a code to get streaming, and I didn't get a code. So is crypto all back up and everything's great again? I watched George this morning. If y'all ever watch cryptos, listen, y'all know that when I do a video, I'm worried about saying like the S word. YouTube's weird. The longer you go into a video or live and you don't curse until towards the middle or end of a video after you've been online for several minutes, the safer you are with the algorithm. That's a fact. They tell you that, especially with ads and stuff. If you curse at the beginning of your video, the first couple of minutes, you get doxxed really hard. You get in trouble with the algorithm and with ads. So I can't curse until a few minutes, but George was online today. He was 45 minutes in, and he had the flying F-bombs. It was actually quite crazy, and people were accusing him and all kinds of stuff. And it was and somebody in the live said, "George, please don't curse. I'm watching little kids right now." And I'm like, okay. Yep. So that was crazy. He was cursing up a storm. But George, if y'all ever follow George and Cryptos R Us, I don't even have to look at the chart. I can tell you it's a good time to buy Bitcoin. That's what George would say. And that, my friends, is what they call a pattern, or whatever the hell they want to call it. So we come back down, and the question is, that's a hell of a drop. Hell of a drop. Please don't think I know what I'm doing. I just like to always try to put lines and just see kind of, if they become trends. But this is all jacked up. I got more lines. I know what the hell to do with. It is amazing how that all fits in like that, doesn't it? I think it is. Now, I just don't know how to read it from there. I just know that from when I used to trade, that this has become basically a resistance line, and you want to see it not just barely break through like this, but close ahead of this before you basically have a change, and then it becomes support, hopefully. And but if you saw George's video, George said the bottom is in. Yeah, maybe from right here, but 619 says that's the Fibonacci downward spiral. Ico Bangle says, is Sorchain ever going to come back in your list? I was hoping the project would revive. So far, I see a dead community. It's funny you bring that up, because on my Discord, I hope everybody here is a member of my Discord, we were just talking about that. And we were just talking about Sorchain. I have 95,000 SOAR tokens worth $73. $73. I've been in this, I have to, well, I'm not going to apologize to Demo, and also I have 3. So, honestly, maybe I don't have to apologize to Demo. Demo, I had 3 devices, and I argue that I haven't not ROI'd in any of them. Yeah, I have $192. So you take $192 and divide that by 3. That's $64. So no, I don't owe Demo apology. Demo is worse than Sorchain. But really, I got 5 devices that is included. I got 2 of them for free from a buddy because he said this project sucked. I don't want to do it, and I took his 2 devices. I still do sword chain because I got the phone for it. I still do the mapping. I know the last couple of times, me and several people in the sword chain Discord asked how often are we getting paid for the mapping. Nobody can answer us. There is, last I knew, like, you don't even see the mods in there talking about anybody. Let me move my fat head to the other side. I haven't been in the Discord really, other than yesterday, like when I was checking the announcements, and there ain't been no announcement since my last video. See, nobody answers questions around here. Nobody answers questions. What about dashboard rewards? What's the distribution schedule? We keep asking that question. Nobody seems to know. All I know is I drove to Missouri with sword chain, and that was almost a 10-hour drive, 10, 12-hour drive. I got like, it was, I think I checked on SOAR like 6 hours into it, and I had like, don't quote me on it, 15 or 18 SOAR. It was a freaking joke. Absolutely a joke. Just a joke. But like I said, I have the phone. I got a phone mount, so I run the dashboard, the camera, because why not? It ain't costing me anything. My phone, if I'm going on a long trip, like when I went to Missouri, it seems like once a week I have to retether that stupid sword chain mini to my phone. So when I went to Missouri last week, and that was going to be a 10-hour drive there, 10-hour drive back, 3-hour drive from one hunting spot to another hunting spot, I make sure that I connect. But if I'm running around my area for work, I don't bother connecting it. If it connects, it connects. If not, it doesn't connect. But I'd say right now, for some reason, every week I'm having to connect that device to my provision that device to my phone. But I'll continue running the camera. But it's a trick because you don't know what the hell you're making with the camera. Emo's at 2 cents. Somebody needs to play that Ludacris song, like "How Low Can You Go," and just how low can you go? Y'all remember back in August when this went up to 10 cents and everybody thought Demo was back? Those were good times, huh? Crazy. All crazy fools. I was curious on what people thought about. I actually put a little bit of thought into my entry in last night's video. MDT San says my entry is fabulous. I wasn't expecting that. I ain't got nothing for y'all. I thought the snoring on the camera was pretty badass too. I thought that was funny. Let me tell you. Wally Miner says, thanks for always being honest, Grumpy. Life can be hard sometimes. Keep doing you, man. I appreciate that. Seriously. And look, I do appreciate all these comments, and I check my comments and stuff. And I do appreciate when y'all say those kind of things to me. It kind of keeps me going. You know, it's despite what people think, the $1.25 I make from YouTube per video is not what keeps me going. But you know, sometimes the grumpy thing and the honest thing kind of goes hand in hand. People think you're being grumpy, but you're just being honest. It's just not what they want to hear. You know, a lot of people in life, especially for the last, who knows how many years, 10, 15, 20 years, the life, the way it is nowadays, people just tell people what they want to hear and they're not honest. And I guess I'm old school Gen X, where we just don't worry about hurting certain people's feelings without being an asshole. But sometimes I don't like to lie to people. And if I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong, but people ask me, certain people at work now know, don't ask me my opinion, because I'm going to give you my opinion, because I'm not going to lie to you. And people think I'm an a-hole. People think I'm grumpy. That's where the grumpy name comes from, because people call me grumpy at work, but it's not that I'm grumpy. Unless you try to talk to me before my second cup of coffee at 8:30 a.m. Like, I do have people come to my desk before I even start my first cup of coffee, and I literally just do this to them and like get the F away from my desk and go somewhere else unless you're dying. But some people just can't handle the honesty, so they think you're an a-hole. They think you're grumpy. Or sometimes I am grumpy, and I just, you know, I realize that. Who farted says, is this is all Trump's fault? Go figure. Like, I can't believe he said that. Tech Around says, we're never getting rich, fam. Hey, I showed y'all in that video that that guy put saying, you know, we all got spoiled with helium. And I've did several videos on that. Listen, y'all know my claim to fame. Don't laugh at me. But a few people who are here knew. Helium. I made $5,000 in the first 17 days. $5,000 divided by 17 days. Once I got it hooked up, because that's how long it took me to ROI. Because we paid, me and two buddies paid $5,000 for our first helium device. We were making $294 per day. You will never see that again. I don't care, you know. For those of y'all who were in Hive Mapper at first or Demo at first, and I hear these stories about what they were making, you weren't making $294 a day. You know, we weren't making that with Entropy in the beginning. We were making like, and I know I got in about a month or two late, but even with Entropy, we were making $45, $50 per day. You know, and then some people got out and took $1,000 out at a time and crashed the price and stuff like that. And some of the times it never recovered. But let's be honest, you're never going to see that again. And, you know, while I love to bring new projects to you and tell you what's coming out with Helium Deploy, I haven't even looked at my Telegram to see what Helium Deploy has sent to me today. You know, I'll give you a perfect example. 4D Sky. 4D Sky is, you know, last week when y'all watched my live, for those of y'all live, I got all panicky because I am being sent, I don't know when it's going to come in, I haven't looked, but I am being sent a 4D Sky device, whatever you want to call it. And I kind of panicked. I felt like I was cheating on Wingbits. Y'all know Wingbits is my #1 project I have the most faith in. We're going to talk about that AMA in a minute. But then watching the videos and talking, and I'll be honest, I talked to somebody in the Wingbits team and told them straight up, look, guys, I'm letting y'all know I am being sent. I sent them the time of when last week on video live, I panicked. For those of y'all that were here, I panicked because I looked at my Telegram and saw that, hey, we heard you talking about 4D Sky. We're sending you one. And that's how it went down, live on this thing. And I went, oh my God. Because I felt like I was cheating on Wingbits. But they seem to have, I'm not, listen, make sure we're clear on this. I am not calling it a partnership. It is not a partnership. But it almost kind of goes hand in hand. How about that? Yes, they are competition, and I like competition. The capitalist in me likes competition. I think all business should have competition to keep it on your toes. I'm demoing a new Motorola radio. I used that story last week. I'm demoing a new Motorola radio I got in yesterday. It's kind of I ain't gonna say cheaper, a less expensive version for certain people that don't need all the bells and whistles. and it's still $5,000. And I'm like, what the front door? Because there's no competition to Motorola. Same thing with, with Wingbits. Hey, maybe a little competition would be nice to push each other. But my point is, watching the video that I shared a couple of days ago on my X, they're not really going after the same thing. Where Wingbits is going after ADS-B and a lot of this flight tracking and that kind of stuff like that, they have ignored some of the Mode S and FLARM or whatever it's called, and I forget what the other one's called, at 978 megahertz and stuff like that. It's been a long day. That is what 4D Sky is going after, which some of the drones are using. So they kind of, yes, they both ADS-B and flight tracking type thing, but it's still two different kind of markets. My issue is 4D Sky is $900 something for a device. Now you're going to save $50 if you use the Grumpy code, but still, okay, so now you pay $948. Then you have to pay for shipping. And they're not going TGE until quarter 2 or 3 of next year. That's a lot of money to be out of, to wait 9 months to find out what your ROI is going to be, or what your, I know, 138 dBm or whatever doesn't like that ROI term, but to find out what you're making with that, or you want to recover your funds or break even or anything like that, that's a lot. There's several new deep end projects coming out, and let's be honest, while we're hoping Wingbits breaks the mold and Wingbits is different, can anybody tell me the last deep end project that went TGE and even into a couple of weeks later, y'all were like, damn, I'm doing pretty good with this project? Tell me what the last one was. I know some of y'all said Ether Edge or whatever. Y'all were doing pretty good with that, but yep, I'm not getting paid by them. So one thing I want to make sure, if y'all saw this on my video, I'm challenging everybody. I'm trying to just, I don't know if it's going to make a difference, but I just think spread the word. Even if you work, and take your phone, sneak it off to the side. I think we should have y'all can tell me you'll disagree or not, but I think Wingbits is saying this is supposed to be a very special AMA. That's what they're telling me. Make sure that I'm there. It's supposed to be exciting and all this stuff like that. I'm saying, I think we've had like 100 people join the last one, 75, 100, maybe 110. I want to see as many people possible. I'm going to spread the news of this on my Discord. I'm going to tag everyone, 5 minutes before it starts. I'm making sure I put X post out, but I want to see as many people show up so Wingbits can see that we're all still engaged and we give a shit on what's going on and what the hell's going on. Now, y'all know I try to hit stuff from both sides. Yes, I want TGE like the rest of y'all, but let's be honest, the market that freaking sucks right now. So while some of y'all are saying when TGE, raise your hand if maybe you agree this ain't the best time to come to market, and hey, I can handle another month of 20% bonus on our devices. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just being honest with you. I got 15 devices. I'm making 20% extra on 15 devices. I just now if this is the bottom and Bitcoin's about to go back up to 120,000, okay, maybe it is good if we go TGE this week and Wingbits gets carried up like that. But let's be honest, like, what's the chances of that? Ron Lincoln, my. If you look, dude, I hate to mispronounce names, dude. I don't want to be rude. Ikabangle. If you actually look in the, if you click more, actually it was supposed to be. Oh, look, it says right there, Grumpy Discord server. There's a link that says Grumpy Discord server, and you click that, you should be able to get in. Just make sure you verify, because if you don't verify within 12 or 24 hours, I'll boot you. So, y'all try to get in on this Wingbits AMA. Show up. You don't have to say anything. Wait a minute. This says, sorry, everyone. We had a last minute conflict for tomorrow's stage AMA that couldn't be avoided. I have updated the date and time. Come on, man. Tuesday, November 25th. Oh, you're about to get it. Oh. Let me take a deep breath. Eat a chip. All right, so don't worry about everybody getting together for the AMA tomorrow. They got something else to do. All right, I ain't talking about Wingbits no more. What else? What else we got? Yeah, Ooh, what else we got? What else I missed? Demo hits. 1 penny, I'll buy again. Let me tell y'all. You know, I talk out of two sides of my mouth. I'll be the first one to say it. People can call me out on it. I admit it. I'm talking to my buddy at work today. Y'all know I got a buddy that works with me who is into crypto also. And he doesn't do a lot of TA stuff. He follows a couple of TikTokers and stuff. And then he charged my phone and I can't find a charger. But anyway. And he's like, man, what you think? What you think? And I asked him, what did you think? What's your TikTok goofball saying? Because TikTok is septic for crypto. You know, you still got people saying go all in on XRP because it's still going up $10,000 or whatever XRP is going to, whatever. But he asked me not to tell him this. I said, look, Jason's his name. I said, Jason, last night I did a video and I talked to two sides of my people probably thought I was drunk. And I can't even afford alcohol right now. So, because I don't buy the cheap stuff. So if I can't afford the right stuff to buy water bourbon, I don't buy it. But anyway, I said, people probably thought I was drunk last night because I told that two sides of my mouth. There's a part of me that says maybe the Bitcoin maxis weren't wrong. There's so much between the ETFs now sucking money into straight Bitcoin. Maybe there's so many compared to the last bull market. There's way bull season, whatever. There's way more alts now for money to be spread out. Or they're going into projects or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It may be the only way to really make significant money is to strictly concentrate on Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes back down again. I saw somebody, I shared it earlier on Facebook, on X or somewhere. They're talking about 56,000. I don't know where the hell that number comes from, but 56,000. I think that's something to do with the 200 moving average or something. And I said, if that happens, screw it. All my dollar cost average, my DCA, I'm strictly doing Bitcoin from now on. I don't care. if I can only 2x or 3x. But at the same time I say that, and I told him, I said, I'm saying that on video, Jason, and at the same time I'm thinking, boy, if Bitcoin is down to 56,000, I bet VET is under a penny. Let's say VET, I watched a video today talking about, will any of these altcoins ever hit their all-time highs again? Will you see VET again at 25 cents or 24 cents? Will you see Cardano at $3 and something cents again? Will we see Crow at $1 again? Will we see Atom at $40 again? Maybe not. But if I can buy VET at 0.007, hell, it was at 4 or 5 cents not that long ago. 4 or 5 cents, that's like what? Somebody do the math. I failed college math. 5x, 6x, 7x, whatever it is. If you buy that like 0.005, if you buy Atom at, it's like, say you buy Atom at $1.50, and let's say it only goes back to $20 again. If Cardano goes back down to 15 or 20 cents, and it only goes back up to $1, that's a 5x. It ain't crazy meme coin money, but that's the thoughts that go to my head. Is I sit there and tell myself that I need to concentrate on Bitcoin, but I'm still thinking maybe I still need to play with some of these alts. Maybe I need to take, maybe I need to look at it as, hey, I'm not going to get rich from, because some of y'all have said this before, and I'm sure I didn't like ignore it, but some of y'all has said this before, and I kind of disagree with that point. But now I'm starting to agree with some of y'all. We'll take for example 375 AI. I don't know why, I'm just using that one. You're not keeping those coins long enough to figure out what's going to happen with that token. If you got $50 of 375 AI right now, $50 of Brusho, $50 of Sword Chain, you're going to take that right now and throw that into a token that is going to survive and go up from this point. Solana, Ethereum, Cardano, VET, or even Bitcoin. And some of y'all have said that logic. I used to do that before with Helium. For the longest time, when Helium had IoT, I thought that was close to the end. And when we were first making some decent IoT with my 17 devices or whatever I had, I was immediately converting it to Solana, not to HNT. And Solana was lower back then. Maybe some of y'all are on to something. Hey, we're going to be in these DePIN projects. We ain't going to sit there and bother if we're going to ROI or not. But we're just going to take WingBits tokens and take some of them and convert them back into Solana. I'm still trying to figure out how to swap Chirp, because I got thousands of dollars worth of Chirp. Before it goes any lower, do you trade a little bit and take $250 and put it into VET right now? I don't know, or do you put it into Bitcoin? Don't tell me. ICP. I'll still say, and Roar, I don't want you to think that I'm hating on you. I still I don't see ICP. I don't know if ICP increased their token supply, and you might know more about it than I do. I hate to say this, but I used to hear BitBoy talk about ICP a lot. And I don't know if it was George or if it was Wendy O. But what concerns me is I would have to guess, and again, I don't know my history of ICP, but this total supply, I can't see, this is $500 million. I know, Captain Obvious, but just follow me. Normally, people ask me like WingBits and these other projects that have 10 billion token supply. Normally that price is around a penny to 2 pennies, which means a project with 1 billion should be about 10 cents. You move the decimal over, 20 cents. here take. Now, if they're really good and they're really surging, then they're gonna go up. But that's the average. And if you look on CoinMarketCap, you can back that up. Which means, using that same example, 500 million should be about $1 with that many tokens. $5, I think, is good. I know the history of it, and it was at $14. But I think you have to be realistic. I just can't ever see it getting back to this kind of pricing. And the reason I bring that up is I'm not saying Roar thinks it's going to go up this price, but I see people on X and Discord who mention this, thinking it's going to go back up to $433 because that was its all-time high. You can go back to its all-time high. I would love to know what the token supply was. How the hell? Because I think with $433, this kind of token supply, this ICP had to be like number 2 or 3. $500 million times. I mean, even right now it's ranked at 36. But even at let's say at $100, you're looking at 50 billion. So at $100, it would have been here. Yeah, you talking about it being like number 3. Like I was saying, like I'm thinking that they must have increased, because that's what happened with Atom. From what George talked about, he really liked Atom, Cosmos Atom. Somehow they increased their token supply. Grass was supposed to be doing that. If you go look at Grass doesn't even, at one point, max supply is blank. It's not good. Investors don't like to see that because they don't know what's going to happen. Now, it does say total supply is 1 billion, but is that total supply right now in your max supply, or is max supply after burns and stuff like that? I get a little confused with that. Uh-oh. Price up 21%. Here we go. Milkman says swap everything in Bitcoin. I listen, I'm hard-headed. And after everything I just said, the problem with that at 92,000 is just to double your money. Just to double your money, Bitcoin has to go to $184,000. I hope I'm alive that long to see that, but that's why I've always been hesitant, because I've always chased the big profits. Now, what I tell you all before, I kicked myself in the ass because Bitcoin fell. What was Bitcoin at? 16,000. When Greg Soloway or Ed Soloway, whatever his name was, kept telling everybody Bitcoin's going back to 8. So guess what? When it hit 16, I was like, I ain't putting into it. And then next thing you know, it's up here at 27. I'm like, and he kept saying it's going to fall again. So I didn't put into it. But my point is, if I would have put into this, then at this point, I would have made some profits. But how much profit can be made at 92,000? But if this is the only thing that's going to go up every bull market from now on, and then I see people arguing, and I'll argue too. You got people online saying this cycle is the same like it's been every cycle. That's bullshit. The timing's been different. If you consider whenever the bull cycle was, but I don't know. I don't know. $14,000. 619 Oda. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for passing by. Be careful when you're hiking through all those deserts and putting those remote stations up. Rattlesnakes and stuff like that. 619 J Styles says Wingbits TG when they found DB Cooper and Bigfoot. Or when they release the Epstein files. Because my fantasy football chat that I have with my buddies has been turned into strictly the Epstein and conspiracy theory chat. My guys, I ain't got time for this nonsense. Because I'm going to tell y'all right now, y'all remember when y'all were watching Grumpy's Live at November 18th, 7:43 p.m. in the state of Louisiana. I'm going to tell y'all this. One day they will release those files. I have no doubt about it. And when they do release their files, nobody's still going to be satisfied. Because when certain people's names are not on it, let's just say Trump's name's not on it. Because, you know, and y'all know that I call it like it is. I'm not the biggest Trump fan. I don't particularly hate the man, but I just don't think he's as great as people make it. And then he's a brash a-hole sometimes. Bully. But anyway, we've been dealing with these Epstein files since like 2018, 2019, if I'm not mistaken. You never heard Trump's name supposedly on it until about 6-8 months ago. Maybe 10, 11 months ago. We're in election time. You didn't hear about his name on that for years. But it took some people, some Democrats, some liberals to start pushing that rhetoric, what do you call it? And it flew. Now, let me ask you something. Biden's government 3-letter agency supposedly had it. And you got the Democrats running for president. You don't think if Trump's name was on that list, they would have released it? Or are there Democrat names on it that they don't want to see released? Is there Democrat and Republican names that's going to be listed? I watched a pretty good investigation show. And what I was told is basically they had this list that they made during an investigation. And it's basically any name that came in contact with Epstein. So you have people whose name is on this list. Now, some of them are from witnesses, victims. But basically, they want the whole list. And you have people's names on that list who did business with Epstein, whatever his name is, who did nothing criminally wrong. And that's one of the biggest reasons why they don't want to release this list. Just food for thought. I know this is not the conspiracy chat, but that's my thing. I think that's one of the biggest reasons they don't want to release that list is because you're going to ruin some people's lives, businesses, who did nothing wrong other than business association, who probably had no idea that this other stuff was going on. And I still say, when Trump's name's not on it, because they have Epstein on file saying he hated Trump. Then why is he going to the island or doing whatever? When certain people's names ain't on that list, they're going to have problems. It'll never end. You're going to have conspiracy theories that that's not the original one. This is the third redacted one. And that's what it is. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Going back to this with Bitcoin, I saw somebody else talk about how, we're still looking at another rate drop. We're still looking at some more pro crypto regulations. You still have some of these wars winding down. November, December, or sometimes normally, depending on who you talk to, cold crypto times. But I remember people talking about Thanksgiving where they would talk that there was always this bump around Thanksgiving because families got together and the younger generation would talk to certain people about getting into crypto. And this is why I'm in the crypto around the Thanksgiving table, and it would help out. And then you had some people who got Christmas money who put into crypto, but then you also had crypto go down sometimes and they blame it on tax harvesting or taking losses or whatever they do to manipulate the taxes. So look, all bets are off. I don't know what the shit's going to happen. We just need to put a poll up. What do y'all think is going to happen? Do you think Bitcoin goes up and alts continue to go down? I was looking at, I had a Google Drive document. Let me see if I can find it and share it with y'all. That's what I haven't looked at this in some time, but let's look at this. And I know I've talked about it before to some of y'all. But basically, during the bear market, I was keeping this and I shared it with a couple of people who wanted it, and I was keeping track of it. I was trying to. So you have Bitcoin. June 22nd is when I kind of quit doing it. But if you look back, you can see where I was keeping track, and then the percentages. This is what 90% was. This is what the difference is from all-time high. But what I wanted to see is Cardano. March, Cardano was at 75 cents, and then it came back down. Atom was at $13, $6. VET was at 4 cents, 2 cents. BNB is when that snuck up on me. Matic, Solana was at 134, which is kind of where it is now. This is back a year. This is 18 months ago. Vithro, Algo, Beam. I knew there was a Beam. Is it? But this ain't the same Beam. I don't know. Sand, Gala, Mana. XRP was 48 cents. Yeah. Near, Clay, Wild. Some of these tokens are the ones that, what's his name talked about? The crazy dude always does the video with the guns. Here's Whiff, Bonk. I saw my video last night to show you I was not lying about Tell with the girl with the Doge bikini who told me about Tell years ago. Look right here. Tell. I was tracking it. Pepe. You don't hear nothing about Pepe no more. Ben Token, that's a joke, huh? H&T, IoT, and mobile. And they're just kind of tracking the prices. But look, I put right here, XRP for my buddies. If they win the SEC case, huge quick gains. If they lose, it could sink more. Price prediction for the next bull run is $9 or $11. Yeah. I won't take credit for that. I think it's funny just kind of comparison and prices to where they are now. So when you look at this, alts are up. Did we have a bull run? It was so slow we didn't kind of recognize it. We didn't have these huge gains, maybe. I don't know. Epstein crashed crypto. Yeah, sure. No blame me on him. No, because Epstein and Elvis and Tupac are all living together on an island somewhere. They all faked their death. That's how deep that conspiracy rabbit hole goes. Clarity Act's coming soon. Got a few more ETFs dropping next couple of days for XRP2. I know Wendy Oak has been saying that for months. And then there's always some excuse for, So listen, I promise I won't attack y'all. I'm curious to know. And all y'all make sure you hit the like button because I keep forgetting to say that. All realistic. Y'all give me is anybody in here in XRP? Roar, you in XRP, you give me y'all prediction with what you're seeing right now. Does XRP go to what they kept saying, $5.30 something cents? Is there going to be any more alt? You know, you got people saying we'll never see any more alt. We'll never see any more alt season bull runs. I remember hearing people on video and Twitter saying you're not going to have cycles no more. It's just going to be crypto's going to do what crypto's going to do. There's not going to be any more of these cycles and planning the cycle and after the halving and this is going to happen. What happened to that talk? There always just seems to be some new rhetoric going around. And I don't know. I mean, what happened to that? You know, I wish a lot of these tokens would detach from each other. How come XRP can't go up and Cardano go down? I'm not talking about just a couple cents here and there. I'm talking about like as if there's a cycle in bear cycle, bull cycle. When do these alt, you know, because I remember hearing that from last bull cycle, is at some point Bitcoin's going to detach from everything, decouple, and if Bitcoin goes up or Bitcoin goes down, it's not going to affect these other crypto prices. That definitely ain't true. You know, y'all tell me what y'all think about this part. I told my buddy at work today, Jason, I said, what one of my fears is you have people who are new to crypto because ETFs, mom and pops who didn't want to go through Coinbase, I've talked about that before, and the ETF opened the door for a lot of new people. They haven't been through a bear market yet. You know, you go and you put money into stocks like Nvidia, and Yahoo, and Google, and Sony. You don't see the big swings like you see with crypto. And what I worry is if Bitcoin and crypto take a very big swing down or into bear market, some of them people might not get back in. They might say, F this is too volatile. Do you all agree with that? Could that possibly be some? Bill, man, could you almost say that almost any altcoin, either DePIN or even altcoin at this point is a long-term play? I mean, that's how I'm looking right now. Like, I'm not going to sell my Solana. I bought it at $13, a bunch of it. I'm not selling my BNB. I got 1.5 mining on prohashing.com. I got 1.5 BNB. I'm not selling that anytime soon. Trust me, when it was up to $1,300, whatever it was, that thing was looking good. And I have some XRP that I bought back at like, I got into it like at 45 or 50 cents. It went up, and right when Voscoin, I think it was Voscoin or Bob the Big Boy, whatever his name is, Ben said that SEC is coming after XRP, and I sold it. It was at $1 something at that point, so I made some decent profits off of it. And at some point when it was low, and they kept hearing about the SEC case, I bought back in. I just remember being around 55, 60 cents for the longest time. So I bought back into that. So I don't have a big bag of it at all. I probably got, you know, it's up to $2 now. So I probably got $300-400 worth of it. And the only reason I don't sell is because just in case Grumpy's wrong, just in case somehow this thing does go to $5 or $10. What if? I don't think it's going to happen. But my point is, on some of my bigger tokens, I'm not going to go sell. I don't mind selling H or NT. I don't mind selling my Nadix tokens that are worth $300, and 3 weeks ago they were worth $900. But I'm not. I'm just going to roll them into other things. Like we talked about that on my Discord today, and people are like, "Oh, Grumpy still got cash to go roll into." No, y'all not paying attention to my videos. You know, my wife always bitches that I tell y'all way too much about my private life, because you never know what's going to come back to haunt me. But AT&T screwed me over. If y'all saw my video, and then look, a couple of y'all reached out to me because y'all could tell I was bothered really bad. I was at some low times last week about some financial things going on. AT&T was supposed to give me credits because I merged my kids' phones over to another account and mine to another and made them under one account. And they kept telling me, you have a credit coming, you have a credit coming, you have a credit coming. Just pay what your normal, what we tell you the plan is, and don't worry about this part. The credit's going to wipe it off. I'm like, well, that's a couple $100. No, it's going to clear off, Mr. Baker. It's going to clear off. It's going to clear off. And guess what happened? My kids are calling from school because the phones got cut off. And AT&T wanted $900. $900 to turn them back on. You had to pay off the bill all. And of course, it was a new billing cycle. I'm like, wait, what happened to the credit thing? Well, once it's cut off, we can't help you with that. You just pay the $900, and then what's going to happen is when your credit comes in, it takes 2 to 3 months for that credit to come. Now, when that credit comes, then it'll credit your accounts, and then like maybe next month you won't have to pay your bill. Yeah, let me get my $900 out. No problem. So I had to reach into this. And there goes my crow. And some of my whiff. Some of my peak. And it killed me. I was more disgusted because I had to sell it low. But what you gonna do? I got a son in college that can't use his phone right now because AT&T, the salesperson, and I told them, the person that sold me the stuff, because he came to my office, and the manager I spoke to a month later when I said, where are my credits at? And the manager, the district manager, I got his name. Because I'm not a deadbeat. I pay my bills. But when he's saying don't pay your bills and it's a couple $100, I'm not going to pay it. Like, so look, it was some, my wife was not happy that she couldn't call her son in college. But crypto saved me. Again, just like I tell you about H&T, I'm always faithful to H&T to a point. Because when Hurricane Ida came and we had to evacuate, if y'all can imagine y'all got to move like tomorrow. Something's coming tomorrow. And you got to go to a hotel in another state for a week and feed a family of 4 or 3 because I had to stay here at work. Helium paid for it. We didn't have the emergency funds back then. My kids were younger. They were playing travel ball. We were paying for all this other stuff. I didn't have that kind of emergency fund. I had a couple $100. But helium, luckily helium was a lot more back then. It was still $20, $30, whatever it was. But helium saved my ass. And now here I'm sitting here like looking at all these cryptos and the price is going down. And I'm like, what the hell are we supposed to do? Other than this one, this freaking cockroach right here, dude. What the hell? All right, so this was at 600 before. So what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna buy some? Oh, motherfucker. I still can't get my ZEC ATM working. This is my Z9 miner. I plugged in and I can't even get an IP address on it. Tried to reset it. Can't even get an IP address on it. Don't really want to go invest any money into it because if it doesn't work. But the 619 keeps asking, what's the big deal? Like, why is it doing this? I don't know, bro. But when's the last time y'all saw this? ZEC was, I love to know what the rank was like 6 months ago. It was number 13. It was number 13 when we were mining it years ago. I know. Y'all were right. I was wrong. I should have sold this up here. It was almost 40 cents on crypto.com. Killing me. Killing me. You have to wait until BlackRock gets in the deep end. But Milkman, you watched my video this morning. Y'all heard the lady in the bikini. It was a sign from the crypto gods. When you see a girl, a blonde, who's had some plastic surgery done, and it ain't got much fabric to it. This was a family vacation too. But you can make out the Dogecoin dogs and the Dogecoin symbols. And she tells you about Tell. Her and her husband tell you about Tell. Tell's the next one. And what's Tell supposed to do? Basically the same thing XRP's doing. And look at it. Look at it for the week. Yes, it ain't got, you know, Zcoin type money or Zcash type movement, but it's still 100-something%. Let me move this over so y'all can see it. Telcon rose. Well, the last 24 hours. Regulatory breakthrough, technical momentum, exchange listings. Anyone. Telcon received final approval for its Nebraska Digital Asset Bank Charter, enable regulated stablecoin issuance, DeFi integration. Charter reduces, because this is what those banks, I don't know what the big deal about Nebraska is, but this is the banks supposed to be using this kind of like they were planning on using XRP. Is what the lady in the bikini told me years ago. And why is it taking this long to do it? I don't know. I used to buy it on, that's how long ago. I used to buy it on KuCoin. Y'all remember when KuCoin was available in the United States? Good times. Now, again, you go look at my spreadsheet I just showed y'all and and what the price is now, it's still way down compared to back then. And if only Nebraska's banks are going to use it, kind of like XRP was supposed to be used for those kind of transactions, cross-bank transactions, or whatever you want to call it. You know, how big can I go? I don't know. I just think it's cool because I like to talk about the lady in the bikini who told me to buy Tell. I don't know. Oh man, I'm so disappointed in Wingbits. God damn. What else I want to see a video on? I'm out of ideas for videos right now. You know, I did the. Let me ask y'all this. I said I wasn't talking about Wingbits anymore because I was pissed, but has anybody here, if y'all saw my video the other day about adding Tailscale to your device, has anybody successfully added Tailscale to a HiFix device and can get all 4 links to work? Because I haven't tried it, but if y'all saw in the video, I could not get it to work. I could get to my the one of the screens. So here you go. So move my head out the way again. So through Tailscale, I can get to my WB200. That's about 30 or 40 minutes away from my house right now. Of course, I don't know the serial number, and I don't think it's saved. But what I still can't get to, and I'm going to try it again. Still can't get to the TAR 1090 screen. Don't know. I don't know what the issue is with it. Now, I saw that they had an announcement about you could get into something else now. Using colon 8088. Let's see if that works. 8088. GPS coordinates, GPS satellites, client version, GPS quality, 4-second data age, messages received. Damn, it even has the call signs. That's pretty cool. The local network, DNS, and connectivity test on the bottom. That's pretty cool. So we can get the mesh to work. You still can't get the TAR 1090 screen to work. And that's what I want to see, because I'm about to go out there tomorrow and swap the antenna out. This is the HiFix that was replaced. And I did not, when I went out there to replace the broken one with the new one, because HiFix, and I feel sorry for y'all who Helium Deploy and these other people are making y'all send the old one back first. HiFix is not making people do that. I wonder if that's HiFix trying to be a pain in the ass. So you go through them next time, maybe. I don't know. But and this is actually live. It's actually updating live. But I have the 3 dBi antenna up there right now. I have my 5.5 that I recommend to everybody that gets way more hexes. Excuse me, guys. I'm drinking Diet Coke. And I want to be able to see what my TAR 1090 is before and after. So I was hoping I would be able to see it. But again, 8088 works. 8054, which is the TAR 1090 screen, won't work. Does anybody remember what graphs is? I don't remember. That's weak sauce, bro. That's that 3 dBi stock antenna. So maybe I need to screenshot this. Oh, not with that. Maybe I need to screenshot this. And then now I'm going to go put my 5.5 dBi again. And again, start arguments on the Discord when I tell people this is what the 5.5 got. And people are going to sit there and argue with me. The 3 dBi is better. Ooh. Dummies. Crafts is 8542. Okay. Oh, wait. I screenshotted the wrong thing. Yeah, WB200. Now I got to go screenshot this one. So that's a 3 dBi one. I'm getting about 150, 181 wings a day. We're going to screenshot this one. Seven day average, 12 hours. And what's good about this one is you got Lake Pontchartrain here, and it is literally on my buddy's restaurant. That's about right here. And he's got a tall pole for security camera and for lighting, and he let me put it up there. And so basically there's no obstructions going this way. And that's the 3 dBi. And I think that's what y'all going to notice the most is you see how it kind of from here goes further this way. I want to see what's going to happen with the 5.5 dBi. The problem is though, is I'm killing myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of my own stations in this area. I got one station here, one station here, one station here, and soon to be a station in this other general area because I'm not giving that out over live. Should be supposed to be online yesterday, but And D Vaselino's here, but Chugwater is still waiting on Wing Bits. If y'all are new, y'all, this is the first time y'all been on here in a while. Of first time y'all fairly new to live. There was always this ongoing joke of this random place called Chugwater, and we all were trying to put a device there. I really thought 619 was going to go put one because a lot of this is mountain area. I've always said that I was going to do like 619 and go put one in a kind of an empty area in the mountains. But after walking the hills of Hunting, Missouri last week, and that was just basic walking, and I about died and had to call a helicopter to come rescue me, I can tell you I'm not going into like in the mountains right here. But this is Chugwater with only 7 streets, 8, 9, 10 streets. I've reached out to the local ham guys that were there. They emailed me back. I told them what I was looking to do, and they must have thought I was a crazy kook or crazy, fool or something like that, because none of them responded back to me. And I told them straight up what we were doing. We work on a project, that kind of stuff like that. I'm reaching out to fellow ham people. I'm a ham, blah, blah, blah. And we just have this goal of putting something in Chugwater. Not that it's really an ideal location anymore, because it is when you kind of look at it right here, but you still have crazy amount of stations down here. Denver. And look, you got even more stations going up. Like, I still say, who the hell is right here saying, you know what, I'm gonna put a Wingbit station right here? Who's right here saying I'm gonna put a Wingbit station right here? See, that's why I need to put one in Chugwater, so I can just stomp out whoever this is with all their number ones. Oh well, guys. Who farted? I thought you were here earlier when we were talking about Trump. I thought you were awfully quiet when we were sitting there talking about Trump and the Epstein list. I don't know if you fell asleep or not. B13's here. So, Milkman, did you install Tailscale like the video did? And does your 8504 work and your Graphs 8542 work? That's the question. Like I said, my 8088 works. This new thing that I like this. I liked it, so I can see that. But you said Graphs was 8542. Nope. 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 So I can't get Graphs to work. And it ain't Tailscale, because I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Let me find. This is my buddies in Gatlinburg. I wish I was in Gatlinburg in the mountains right now. So Tailscale works. I have Tailscale on his device. I hope, man, just my buddy at work, Jason. He owns a cabin in Gatlinburg, and put a device up there. It's kind of shadowed by some mountains and trees, but there was no other stations around there, so he threw one up there. My point is, Tailscale works with this, but for some reason it will not work with Look, and look, I know I'm on the wrong screen. I keep doing it. Here you go. This is Gatlinburg. And as you can see, it does work with that. It's my grand dial station. Again, it's a DIY device with tail scale on it. Colon 8504. Boom. And what's cool with Tailscale is y'all can try to do whatever y'all want to do with that IP. You're not signed into Tailscale. You have to be signed into Tailscale for y'all to go mess with that IP. So I don't have to worry about it. But my point is, with WingBits, the graphs and the tar don't work. The dashboard works and the stats thing works. Don't know. But I don't need to. It's on my roof. There you go, man. Fun fact, I don't even have WingBits at my house. Because it's on my buddy's tower, 20 miles up the road that way. There's no reason to put one at my house. Like, I'm telling y'all, I'm killing my own self. But it's kind of like I'm trying to, I'm killing myself, trying to, like I said, I'm sending one station to the west area. I don't want to tell y'all where it's at because people snipe me. But I'm telling y'all, I think I'm hurting myself with the amount of stations that are still here in Louisiana. But it's like I almost don't want to start getting rid of some of these stations because I'm afraid people are going to think it's open and they can go add stations. I really want to question WingBits about this. This spot has been reserved since people started ordering HiFix stations and were waiting on them. So is this guy paying? I don't know how much you have to pay, but don't you have to pay like every so many weeks, every 30 days or something to reserve this? Like, what's he waiting on? HiFix stations are available right now. Maybe I need to reach out to him and say, hey, use the Grumpy code. Buy from Helium Deploy with the Grumpy code. There's also a mess up in the map because right here, as you can see, there's a station. But it doesn't show up for some reason. And this station I have, when you click on it, it won't do nothing. But then if I go to my stations and I go to my buddy's tower and then I go to map, but again, I'm only getting 185, 185, 189. Somebody count these real fast. I ain't counting them. It hurts. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. I appreciate all support. I'm gonna go find some real food to go eat because I'm starting. It's 8:20 and I'm starving. I got some things to work on. I'd like to put a video out for tomorrow, but I have no idea what to put a video out on. I was hoping I'd be doing a video tomorrow on the WingBits AMA, but yeah, that pissed me off. It better be that they're signing a freaking contract with another customer. That's all I can say. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with 4D Sky. Supposed to be getting my supposed to be getting a device in before the release, so I can do a video on it. No way. Wait a minute. These dudes went up another $300. I'm not losing my mind. Dude, that's crazy, dude. I'm reaching out Telegram. I mean, to them on Telegram right now, saying like, what the fuck's going on with that? That's crazy. Let's see what they say. I told them it's gonna be hard to get people convinced to buy a device for $1,270 when this doesn't go to TGE for another 8 months. Yeah, okay, you're getting a 5,400 point bonus. You have no idea what the points are gonna be worth. This could be a great project. You know, I don't put any faith, and this is just me being negative, but I don't put any faith in drone detection. So I don't listen to any company that talks about drone detection. I'm in enough meetings at work now with public safety that drone detection has some very big people who swing very big balls who are in the drone detection game. Some deep pin company that's new ain't gonna get involved, ain't gonna even be able to compete in drone detection. Because if it's any kind of big, super duper crazy event, if y'all watched my videos back then, Super Bowl, Mardi Gras, those like that, your federal 3-letter agencies are coming down with even better drone detection. But 40 Sky is hitting on a different, but again, they keep showing this piece of shit little antenna in the back. We all know if you're in Wingbits, putting this thing inside, you ain't getting nothing. So are you going to have to go and buy your own antenna and feed line to send it outside after paying $1,200 something dollars? I'm trying to stay positive, guys. I'm trying to stay positive. But I mean, we have people bitching about when HiFix raised the prices on WB200s to $400, and what is it, $459, $479? Shit, that's $800 cheaper than this one. Oh. Osvaldo did a video on it. This is why I think y'all should be proud of me. Y'all should be proud of me. Because some of y'all have been with me since the beginning. You know, we've been in this now. Almost 3 years, probably 3 years now. I don't know. You've never seen this kind of video. How do you know this is a 10X miner? 10X from what? $1? Like, and you're gonna make $10? Like, how do you know this? Maybe this is why I'm not making money with YouTube and with affiliate codes, because I'm not putting these kind of like, where Wendy O is the queen of clickbait. Maybe I'm not putting out videos like this. But how do you know this is 10x? This don't go to TGE until quarter 2 or 3 of 2026. And ladies and gentlemen, y'all have been here long enough, the 14 of y'all watching this, and 100 and 200 of y'all that are going to watch this after, because a lot of y'all watch this overnight. I guess my overseas people. But how many crypto or DePIN projects hit their initial TGE point? How long has Wingbits been talking about going TGE? How many of these other projects missed their TGE date? How do you know? Like, come on, guys, y'all can do better. Look at your friend Andy. Turn one location to a crypto income stack, making $940 a month. Yeah, let's watch that video together. 40 Sky or Wingbits. Oh, I gotta watch this one. They made this 3 months ago. What the hell did they know 3 months ago? I gotta watch this one later. That's me my homework tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get my fingers ready for this one because I'm gonna be leaving some comments. Come on, man. Come on. This is why I don't like to be associated with some of that. This is why, like, some of y'all say I just need to let it roll off my back like a duck or whatever. But this is why when I get accused of only doing shit for codes, or I'm lying to y'all so I can just push a code or get views, this is why I get so offended and pissed off and entertain it. Even though you're right, I should be the grumpy old guy. I should be the mature guy and ignore it. But that right there is why I get pissed when I get even remotely accused of that shit. Because you don't see that from me. I've questioned it. A lot of these YouTubers, when we're not at TGE yet, and you're coming up with guesstimates that we're gonna make $200 a month, $300 a day, $400 a week. How do you know that? You have no idea what the token's gonna be worth. It's sloppy and irresponsible, and it makes all of us look like asses. Because people are gonna say, "There's another YouTuber." It don't matter if the grumpy dad has never did a video. Promise, y'all have never seen a video from me promising a certain amount of money, ever. The closest I ever came, and that's only because I was at that time and I still like it. Don't get it wrong, but the closest I ever came was telling y'all when Ashlers went on sale. And I said, this is what I'm making now, because it was already TGE. We already knew what we were making at the time. So, but I even said, but you also have, what was it, 2,000 miners that are going to be sold, or whatever the hell it was. So it wasn't going to go down. We didn't think it was going to go down as much. We also, what we were hoping, at least me and the couple people I was talking to, we were hoping that as the Ashlers went out and more people got involved, you had more buy and sell people who didn't want to buy Ashlers but started buying a token. We were hoping that the price would kind of go up to offset the amount of token going down. And you didn't have that. You had both of them going down. But even with that, you never saw me put in a title or on a thumbnail, you're going to make $40 a day with the new Entropy Ashler. It's just irresponsible. You can put not financial advice all you want. You can go and put, you're going to make $300 with a 4D Sky. Not financial advice. Then what is it then? Are you future telling? Like, I'm right now. Tesco opening one Chrome tab. Wingbits on me. Who fought it says, yeah, Tailscale connected on the app, bottom right screen. I have Tailscale open, Chrome tab, Wingbits open, Chrome. So, who fought it? When you go to Tailscale, can you take, I'm trying to remember what. Can you put in your tail scale address / index.html? You should be able to at least get this. Or if you saw the announcement today, you should be able to at least put the :80, whatever that was, because that seems to work. 8088, and you should be able to get this. I can't get tar 1090 to work. I can't get the graphs to work, but I'm curious to know if you can at least get this. If not, I'd reach out to him. Well, I'm on the wrong screen. So like this is / index.html after my IP address of Tailscale. And I can at least get this much. I have Tailscale connected on the who fought they need to figure out a way to get people staking tokens on device instead of paying with money. Yeah, but the whole like listen, y'all can sit here, and I know some of y'all did, and I ain't gonna say I didn't chuckle either, but he's my boy, so you know, I'm somewhat respectful because he's helped me out a lot. But we all had a laugh and a chuckle at Tech Hustler when he was spewing facts about some of this stuff that was going on, and projects are making more money off of device sales than they are off the sale of the data that they depinning. And because of that, they're not gonna do the whole people staking tokens to own a device instead of paying with money. Now, who was it we were talking about the other day? That was 375. No. Rover. Oh, I'm sorry. They were discussing. They said it wasn't fact. I haven't seen anything about that, but Rover was discussing that. And I don't know whatever happened with that. I don't know what if they're still discussing or anything like that. But I will tell you, they were discussing it. But let me tell you, this is damn good. Because yes, you got to put 250,000 tokens up. But the way I read it is, when the year is up and you return the device, you're getting those tokens back. So you basically are going to take their device, unless I'm reading this wrong, but you're going to take their device, make money off said device, and then get the device back when it's a year old and out of date, and then you get your tokens back. See, you keep what you earn. Like, this is too good to be true. And then at the current price, what Rover is, doesn't even cost what the actual Litecoin costs. And we had somebody, I can forget who the hell it is, said how like they were on a trip and they made an absolute killing with the Litecoin device. So on my trip, I started with 11,000 Rover, and I was at 10,185 kilometers. And at the end of my trip, today I'm at 13,351 Rover. So let me figure that out. I'm curious because people keep asking me, what did I make on my trip with Rover? So I took screenshots of this when I was in my truck. 1351 minus 11032. I made 2,300 Rover tokens. Actually, it's 2,319 to be exact. So 12,176 kilometers is what I'm at now. And then I have 10185. So I traveled 1,991 kilometers. So I made about probably about 1.2, because this was me driving yesterday, Tuesday, actually, and Monday. So we can say I made about 1.2 Rover tokens per kilometer, and some of that was new roads. Some of it was roads that I've already that were already driven on. So let's go see what Rover is. Rover. Actually, that's not right. Oh no, it is right. So I made $22. 22 bucks. So with the like on that, but that's what I'm trying to say is, let me tell you something. I just, the $1 Million Man always taught us in wrestling as a kid, everybody's got a price. And you're right. I got a price at some point. But I'm telling you right now, if I came home with that light cone on my truck or my wife's car, my wife would beat me. Ain't no way. I don't care what the hell it's making. I could tell it's paying her $1 a kilometer. I mean, it was paying her $100 a kilometer or something like that, and she would not want that thing on her fucking car. That thing is gaudy. But you look at what I made here. And you look at 1,991 kilometers. And what are you making? You're making 16 with the light cone times 16. 31, 856. So I would have made 300. And this is with the price down. I would have made $307 on my trip with the light cone, with that one trip. That's pretty crazy. That was also a 10-hour drive back and forth. Yep. So Odin said bad news for Chrome because the Helium Depot is offering better discounts. Time to talk to them and get 20%. Psh. I can't believe I cannot get over the fact of what they're trying to charge for this. Like, and don't be wrong, look, it looks more rugged. It looks like a professional device. It's got whatever the hell this is, but $1,200. I don't know, man. Maybe when I get it and figure out, and I get a hold of one. I just can't. I can't get over that. I can't get over that. This went up to $1,200. I'm beside myself on it. Unless they got some kind of news that I'm not aware of yet that makes it way more promising. But so let me ask y'all this. So let's say y'all are allowed it to purchase either this or for basically the same price. This. And this one right now, you're getting the free Nobler Marco. And then what estimate your wings are like? I guess it's technically wings. It's not the money. So now what I will say about 4D Sky is for certain people, and 619's not here. You look at this map. And then you look at this map. Does anybody notice the difference? Poor 619. These gonna want bigger hexes over here too. So I guess people have already been buying. So I guess, hey, wide open. Wide open. Now I don't know how the rewards work. I guess I gotta figure it out before I do a video on them. I don't know how the rewards work or anything like that. So you see, before when you went to buy a sensor, you had, because all these people on this map, they must have got the sensor from them. They ain't been available. But now when you press buy a sensor, you automatically are stuck over here. Roar says, "Do I see him in the middle of Texas?" Roar, you in this already? You got a 4D Sky already? $700 is what the original price was. I want to say it was like $729 or something like that. $729. Even that, $300 more than what the Wingpus device is. Like, there's also only 129 active nodes. I will say this, just to be fair. I've spoken to a few people. Now, I'm not gonna say several, few people who talked about the guy who is running, I forget his name. Sorry, but the guy who's running 4D Sky, and they talked very highly about him. Very professional guy. Seems to know what the hell he's talking about. I watched some of the video the other day. You know, I can't watch long videos. Even though I make long videos, I can't watch long videos. And it seems like they're gonna be a legit project with a legit team behind them. So you got money to burn. I don't know. It's an investment like anything else. I'm planning on doing a video on it because I've been asked to do a video on it, but I don't know. All right, boys and girls, we've been going for 110 minutes, so yep, yep, yep. I mean, I'm sure y'all can take y'all crypto profits y'all got, right? Pull that up, some crypto profits from a couple of different tokens, and that's $1,200 right there. Technically, you're not losing anything, right? Crypto profits, y'all know what those are? But I'm saying the only thing that I am way up in profit and it's killing me, and it's the only thing bailing me out right now, like I told y'all, is Crow. And really, it's because I've been using Crow for what, 5 years now? Or whatever the hell it's been, 4 years when that card came out. And I tell y'all all the time, I pay every bill I have with Crow. And my insurance bill, when it's $700 something a month, pay it with Crow. That's the one good thing about the Crow token being so low. You get way more Crow. But I'm also spending the Crow right now. First time ever. I've never touched that Crow token since I started accumulating. But I told you on the last week, it's just going crazy. So appreciate, boys and girls. Keep y'all heads up. I'm gonna try to keep my head up. It's a bad time to run out of alcohol in my house. So, I need some bottled water bourbon stat. But can't afford none. So we'll see. I'll see if I can get some answers about 4D Sky. See about putting the video together just to put it together to pass on the information. We'll be back Thursday night with our live. I think so, God willing. Who knows? Maybe the Epstein files will be out by then. Give us something to talk about. Take our mind off of crypto. But that's gonna be crazy. I don't see it, but who knows? Appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Appreciate all the support. Make sure y'all get in the Discord and keep up with our projects. And I guess I'll see y'all on the Wingbits AMA next week. We'll see. Y'all have a good one.